Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday Show with your hosts, Ken Tizzard and Music for Goats. Brought to you in full color and stereo sound with amplification provided by Trainer. Broadcasting into the world from Storyhouse Studios in Campbellford, Ontario, you'll hear the best of old country, folk, Americana, punk rock, and 80s music delivered into your homes every week for free. And don't forget your regular dose of new and original songs from Music for Goats. Never be alone on a Wednesday night again, 8 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 for those of you in Newfoundland. Join the Whiskey Wednesday regulars on Facebook to be a part of the conversation, or watch on YouTube as well. Pour a drink, a cup of tea, or a nice cold long tooth. Roll up your best smoke and sit back and relax. Don't forget to hit the share button to help spread the word. The Whiskey Wednesday Show, every week. Cheers.
Just like that, we're on. Oh my goodness, look at me up there on the screen. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday Show. We are Music for Goats. I'm Ken Tizzard. We have Mr. Neil Lucy with us here, Mr. Ken Grant, Mr. David Lawrence, Mr. Barry Twohig, Allison Edwards, who keeps everything on track in the other room, and Jack and Stan, and Kitty Cat's here somewhere too, but we don't talk about her too much because Stan gets upset. It is the Whiskey Wednesday Show. We got a bunch of stuff happening tonight. Last week in town, West Bend, best theater on the planet, 3 stages, 2 open air, 1 inside, a beautiful, beautiful piece of land, amazing people, amazing music, amazing energy, and we had the good fortune to have Del Barber there, and Del was fantastic, and with his mate Ryan, and they entertained us all night at West Bend, and then Del came by on the Saturday after the show, and we recorded a little bit of stuff and had a chat, so you're going to get to hear a little bit of Del Barber, and I grabbed a little video footage from both West Bend and here. Turns out when I did the Del video, when we started chatting, we just kept chatting. And I started editing it, and I went, man, this is like way, way too long, and I pulled the shift of gears, and I called out to my senior executive producer at the other end of the couch, Allison, and I said, can I do Del over 2 weeks? And she said, okay, that means we need to move, blah, 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 blah. And she went, yeah, that will work. So we're going to do Del over 2 weeks and take our time with it, because it's great. We've got some great music coming from them and some great stuff. And this is a song called Old Dog, and it goes just like this. Seems like every meal he's ever eaten has come at the cost of a song. Not to say he ain't been hungry for those times you sang along. And his house is made from many doors. The address changes day by day. You've been rambling around this world, killing time along the way. It's a long way to travel and $1 for a song. Another town behind and another comes along. His boots are feeling heavy standing on another stage, fire in his bloodshot eyes. End of day. And for every girl he's ever loved, whose kindness helped him find his way through fumbling, tumbling, lonely nights to bring colors to the grave. Another lonesome sunrise just ahead. He's all scattered across the bed, and his clothes are on the floor, and he's heading for the door. It's a long way to travel and $1 for a song. Another town behind and another comes along. His boots are feeling heavy standing on another stage, fire in his bloodshot eyes. Again today. Oh, you all breaking from this road. So much story still untold. Doesn't matter what you say, he's been doing it all his days. He's an old dog and you'll never change his ways. When he dies out on that highway and you check to find him cold, just pull the old truck over, roll him off beside the road. For his life's been filled with many riches found upon this stage. When he gets his call to glory, and you know his dues are paid, it's a long way to heaven and $1 for a song. Another town behind, another comes along. His
boots are feeling heavy, standing on another stage, fire in his bloodshot eyes again today. Oh, you were breaking from this road, so much story still untold. Doesn't matter what you say, he's been doing it all his days. He's an old dog and you were breaking from this road, so much story still untold. Doesn't matter what you say, he's been doing it all his days. He's an old dog and you'll never change his ways.
For y'all. Old dog. Speaking of old dogs, Stanley, thank you there, buddy, for knocking my
knocking your camera around.
Back again there, Barry. Now that's where you want me.
Yeah, that's good.
I appreciate Stanley saying, that's enough of you. Enough of you. You think you'd say that after 26 years of being married, but Barry, you got a picture there. Let's see how happy the two of us look. I think it's here somewhere. Oh my God. She looks happy and beautiful. I look hairy.
Hairy and beautiful, man.
We actually went out to the deck at 52 North for lunch there. Allison had to go over for something or other, and we went for a walk around town. And 52 North, the deck is wheelchair accessible, so we got out there and had had a really nice salad actually. And Allison, yeah, I know I had a salad. You heard it right, folks. And the coconut shrimp were quite delectable. Delectable, I say. Delectable. So, happy anniversary today, Allison, 26 years ago. Wow, what a trip, what a trip. And in all that time, you got one song, Oh, well. And you had to ask for it. You had to come out and ask for it. I'm just kidding. I mean, she did, and it's true. She does have one song, and she came up, but it's the whole thing about where. I know. I'm just going to check in here on the board here. See what we got. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Barry, Debbie, Jeannie, Jordan. Hey, Zach, how you doing, brother? Zach from Newfoundland. Ron Bizanette, Joe, Derek. Response Audio. I'm not sure who you are from YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Looks like we've got a great crowd of people here tonight. I know it's the summertime and everybody has a ton of things going on. It's just beautiful on the front deck. Thanks for tuning in while we capture the Whiskey Wednesday show, which gets cut up throughout the week, and you can watch it elsewhere as well. So this is a song I wrote for my wife, Allison. It goes like this. Sun goes down over Wichita Falls. I've seen the best and I've seen them all at days, and nothing more beautiful to see. You wring your hair, you drape your clothes, the sun lights your silhouette shape exposed, it's clear you're bringing out the best in me. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me? Morning breaks, I haven't slept all night. The sunlight warms to your skin's delight. I'm dying just to sit here and watch you breathe.
Pressed to your chest lies a mother's joy. Dreams, little dreams of a little boy. This feels like a luck I can't believe. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me? It's been 10 years or maybe 12, and we've had some times that felt like hell, but you held your ground. You stayed strong and true for me. And the good times, they far outweigh the bad, and the happiness outweighs the sad. There's just one question here, and my friends agree. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me? The years have passed, they've grown and gone, and all I can do is sing this song in a voice that cracks, a melody carefree. On the porch we sit as the sun fades away. We wave to the neighbors across the way. I still can't believe you did all this with me. And you say, do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me? Waste your time. Waste your time. Happy anniversary, Allison. Oh my God, 26 years. Wow, it feels like 50. Feels like a long time. Sort of after a while, it's just sort of, it's a long time, you know?
Becomes a lifetime, eh?
It's a lifetime, yeah. Well, it's now half anyways. What am I, 54? Half of 54 is like 39. So, yeah, I mean, we've been together for 2 lifetimes. Science. Don't get me started. It's science.
Or mathematics. For that.
Yeah, well, and you'd know a lot about mathematics because you went to school 100 years ago. That's why you had that reunion.
That's right.
You had the 100-year school reunion this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
All the 100-year-olds were there. Well, I shouldn't say that because there probably were some somewhere.
There probably were. I saw some people who looked like they might have been 100 or so.
It was quite a time. Good, a lot of good events.
Yeah.
A little spread out around town. People had to find their way around, but we had a great time on Saturday night at the Rock Dance, as it was billed.
And that was with Them Again, right?
With Them Again,
and
yes.
that's a collective of a couple bands that you played with almost how many years ago?
Oh, jeez.
I know. It seems like a long time when you say it out loud.
55 years.
55 years ago.
Yeah.
I had said that to somebody, and I thought, that can't be right. But yeah.
I think it is, yeah. That says right on my shirt.
It says on the shirt, 1968.
1968.
Yeah, because that's right, that was the year before I was born. Well, that's great. And you guys played a show. It was there. It sounded great at the arena. I mean, arenas sound weird, but the vocals fucking cut through. And you guys sounded fantastic. It looked like you were having a blast.
Yeah,
People
we
were dancing.
Having
was
a
awesome.
blast. It was great. And Janet and Nan got up and sang some backup with us.
Yeah, Janet Jeffrey and from both from the Janet Jeffrey band.
And we had Eric Myers and Bud Dory from the Black Bishops and the Heat Treat.
That's right.
Who were like a couple of years ahead of us in high school. So it was a conglomerate.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was a blast. I was only there for a little bit, and I had a good time. Neil was there long enough to just get his shirt covered in blood. God.
Oh, no.
I know. You can't take him anywhere.
You can, but you just have to leave Tizzard at home.
And not let him swat mosquitoes out.
No,
Wasn't a fist fight then?
no, it was not. It was not. It was a figure flick.
Yeah, well, the mosquito, we were at the arena, and the mosquitoes were actually really bad. And there was one flying in front of Neil, and I went like this, and I flicked it, but I didn't hit his shirt. But when I flicked it, it exploded, and a big splat of blood went. I went, oh shit, Neil, you got that beautiful shirt on. I just splattered blood all over it.
Blue button-down Oxford cotton shirt.
Yeah.
No more.
But
Wow.
Neil,
And the poor mosquito.
poor mosquito,
Legs
yeah,
up,
poor
yeah.
mosquito, my ass.
Yeah.
He'd already bit somebody, that's why it's full of
He
blood
certainly had.
and flying so slow that you could hit him.
Oh yeah, no, they were there because there was a few times that I swatted them. It was like big blood smears. It's just disgusting. It's like, whose blood is that? Why is it on my body now? Ugh, gross. Blood's not cool. So good work with the shirt and getting it cleaned and stuff again afterwards.
Fortunately, I had my hanky in my pocket and a bottle of water, so
That's right.
that will do you.
Always prepared. Brill cream.
It's not just
It's
Brill
not just
cream.
Brill cream. And David, you were fishing this weekend?
Yes, sir.
And I saw some pictures. You caught some mighty big fish.
I did. I caught
Yeah.
my personal best walleye on Friday. Thank
That's
you,
beautiful.
Chris and Shannon, for taking me out. And
Nice.
was out with Eric last night, and we popped a monster pike out of Brandon.
Very cool. And you're using those new lures from who's that guy you were telling me about?
Blind Rage.
Blind Rage.
Yeah,
Cool. And he's here out of
Kenton.
town, right? Local guy.
He's literally across the street from me.
And you're having a lot of success with him too, right?
Absolutely.
That's very
It's
cool.
A lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And Barry West Bend is pounding along. Oh my God, you guys haven't stopped.
I know, it's keeping me busy.
Yeah, but it's soon going to come to a screeching halt.
We got 2 more weeks,
Yeah.
really, and then it's over.
Yeah, it's a really intense sort of period in the summer, but yeah, it does screech down. So what a great job you guys are doing over there.
Just loving it.
Oh man, the new sound system and stuff is great. Everything over there is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's actually, I took some, even the lighting, because they had LEDs for a while. I think the LEDs were being used outside mostly, and it made taking pictures and videos really hard. But I shot some stuff at Dell at the barn I'm going to play some of it tonight. It looks and sounds great. The barn is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot. I'm heading to Edmonton this weekend. Taste of Edmonton with The Watchmen. That'll be fun if you're in the Edmonton area. Or if you got friends in the Edmonton area, let them know about it. It's a big citywide event. It goes on for a couple of days, and it's not a citywide event. It's a big city event. And it's just fantastic. We did it a few years ago, and we're really excited to be back again. I think we're playing 9 o'clock on Friday or Saturday night. I think it's Saturday night, 9 o'clock. Saturday night, 9 o'clock. Edmonton, folks. Come on out. Taste of Edmonton. This is a song called $1 a Day, ladies and gentlemen, and it goes just like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I was walking down the road when a stranger passed my way. It was empty in his business eyes. He made no move to step aside, he disregarded me. His brain was bleeding compromise. It would be a rude awakening if I knocked him down and stole away his shoes. There's no place that I'd rather be, and that place is anywhere here but next to you. Well, you'll work harder with a gun at your back for $1 a day. You'll trade away your years to fight the fears they feed you for $1 a day. I stopped along the way to hear the politician speak. He stood to stand for something. He promised better futures for those of us who took the line and got behind him. He grew ugly and unwise as he lied about the lies and how they made him feel. The cracks in his disguise grew wide and could no longer hold inside the truth that he tried to conceal. Well, you'll work harder
to fight the fears they feed you for $1 a day. Well, you'll work harder with a gun at your back for $1 a day. You'll trade away your years to fight the fears they feed you for $1 a day.
Nice. I like that run at the end. Nice.
That was a big reach on that last one.
That was good, though. That was good. You got there. We are so lucky tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that Del Barber and Ryan were such gentlemen to come by the house and have some coffee and play a couple tunes and chat. I was by myself, so I was running all the recording gear and doing the interview. And it's one of those, I tried to get everything synced. It's so funny to explain. I tried to get everything synced, and then, of course, we started, and we're like 5 minutes into the interview, and then my phone rings, and it's Brian Finley, and I'm thinking, oh, he probably wants something to do with Del, or because we were at the show last night, blah, 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 and I answer it, and it was a butt dial, but of course that turned one thing off, but didn't turn the other thing off, so then I had all these different audio files. I ended up with 4 different audio files and 3 different video files, and some of them overlapped, so it was an editing nightmare, and at one point, during one of the phone calls, there's about a period of 6 minutes. This is in part 2 of the 4 parts. When I went to put the camera back, it had slipped. So it's me and Del talking, and then all of a sudden, it's just Del, and I'm talking, and there's no me on screen for like 6 minutes. So, again, it's the Whiskey Wednesday show, folks. We do things as guerrilla style as we can. It's a hell of a lot of fun, and it's so great when we get to have people on like Del. Check this out. This is Del Barber on the Whiskey Wednesday show.
Jared was 6 foot tall, 300 pounds. His shoulders were wide and his belly was round. His mouth was the size of a quarter, but he always wore a smile. It was a pleasure to have around when the nights got wild. We were driving in late October in a souped-up Escalade. 2 old thugs talking about their feelings and all the mistakes we made. It's hard to know just how you end up wherever you're at till you're driving around with 25 grand and unmarked bills and a big black Cadillac. I ain't chasing that lonely feeling, I ain't looking for a way out. I'm just making the most of what's on my toast, and then I'm choking every single crumb down. I ain't saying I'm a good man, but I sure as hell ain't all bad. I keep myself from wanting what those other people have. Yeah, Jared was a little different. He seemed to see the good in everyone, but never once did he hesitate to get the dirtiest of dirty jobs done. So when I got the call from the big man, I said yes sir and hung up the phone. I stopped the truck to take a leak before I sent him to his final home. And with my finger on the trigger, I asked him to turn around. I had to see that little smile one more time before he hit the ground. I told him I was sorry, and I knew he understood. He would have done the same damn thing if he was standing where I stood. I ain't chasing that lonely feeling, I ain't looking for a way out. I'm just making the most of what's on my toast, and I'm choking every single crumb down. I ain't saying I'm a good man, but I sure as hell ain't all bad. I keep myself from wanting what those other people have.
Oh, so it's Sunday morning here in Campbellford.
Yeah.
Still pretty early. You played a show last night at West Bend, which was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday show again. We have guest in the studio here today, Del Barber, who's a new friend to me. I've sort of known him on and off for years, and we've crossed paths a bunch, but this is the first time actually hanging out and spending time together like this, which is incredible. Your show last night was fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a great time. It was beautiful.
West Bend's a nice theater, eh?
Can't believe that place. I looked at the pictures online beforehand, and I was like, this seems like some strange sort of complex. And I was wondering if there's going to be some cult stuff I'd have to learn before I got there. Just rituals and things. No, it was. I couldn't believe when we rolled in how beautiful the grounds are and how positive everybody is there, and that's just such a rare thing on the road to have that much positivity. The whole crew was just happy we were there. I didn't feel like they were lying to me. They weren't just doing a job for the paycheck. They seemed to actually like their jobs. That's pretty cool, man.
They work way too hard to
and
do
as you
it
know,
for the paycheck.
That's more rare than we would like it to be in this business.
It really is. It really is. That's one of the reasons I love West Bend. I love working with Brian, and from top down, Brian and Donna instill a feeling of community, accepting new artists, evolution, all those positive terms you can come up with. That's all West Bend's mandate, which is amazing.
Definitely got that sense.
Yeah.
It's just so nice to be there,
So last night we saw you and Ryan.
Yeah, my pedal steel. He plays bass in the band, and he's playing some telly for me too, and sings a little bit. And
he seems to know what he's doing.
He's great, and also great player, but just more than anything else for me now on the road, it's just having good people, part of my crew, people that want to be there, people that are easy to travel with, and people that just really love the music. So you got to find those people in your life and not let go of them. So I'm just desperate to hold on to my crew right now,
It's when you find those people that, there's 1,000 musicians who can do the job. Yeah. But when you find that person that can do the job, plus be a friend and a traveling companion, it's rare, and it's so cool. Yep. It seems like you two get along really well, and he's a fantastic player. He had that pedal steel sparkling last night at West Bend. It was just lovely. Yeah, he isn't, and it's also just the ego thing for guys like him. He doesn't want to step on songs. Just really support songs, and finding musicians that want to do that sometimes can be challenging. Usually it takes them years before they realize what it's all about, And Ryan just figured it out at a young age, and just knows he doesn't want to overplay. It's the last thing he wants to do. So I don't know. It's just super enjoyable, and for us to get to do a duo show, we haven't done it in probably 5 years. So it's been nice to try and do that again. Man. It's a really nice show, and you also tour with your full band. Yep. Right? Is that a 5 or 6 piece? There's 4 of us. Yeah. So it's drums, a guy who plays electric guitar and mando and aux stuff, and then Ryan plays bass and steel in the band. So cool. Yeah, it's been really good, and we just got off a 32 show tour
I've just been running around. I've been down to the States. And
You were just in Copenhagen last week.
I was just in
weren't you?
Copenhagen last week. Yeah.
What show were you doing there?
It's this festival called Tonder, if you were pronouncing it like I used to.
Oh, so it is Tonder.
It's Tonder,
okay,
yeah,
right,
but it
right.
wasn't the festival. They have like a side show where they promote the Tonder Festival
Right.
in Copenhagen.
But it's still Maria running it.
It's Maria.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maria's wonderful.
She brought us out. They do like an associate show with the Copenhagen Jazz Festival.
Cool.
They put on a stage for like a week, and it was like Alison Russell and myself on the bill that night. It was a really nice show. Yeah.
Did you meet Fleming?
Fleming was not there.
Oh, but you know Fleming.
Yeah, very well.
He's a
I
cool
love him.
guy, eh?
Oh yeah,
He's
Yeah.
probably one of the coolest guys.
He's
I know.
always-
The first time I met him, I was like,
always in an Iron Maiden shirt or something, or Megadeth or something, and just like he's just like at these like Americana festival and enjoying it, but he just what he really wants is for someone to just like play some metal for him. Yeah. One of those guys. I love him. Yeah, I always enjoy hanging out with him.
yeah, him and Maria are very sweet. I've gotten to know them a little bit over the years from just meeting them at late night drinking. And
Totally,
stuff,
yeah.
and a lot of great stuff.
She's always at the ECMAs, and she's always at all the big events. She works her butt off.
She does, and she spends a lot of time coming to Canada to look
Yep.
for talent too, which is incredible.
It's just such a big Canadian contingent in Denmark at those festivals, and I think it's mostly because of her. Well, and the relationships that all these people have built with her to come, and I don't know, it's pretty cool to see. I'm definitely a benefactor of that, so, you know.
Well, it's good. I mean, that is, I'm a semi-advocate for conferencing. You know,
Me too.
I love
I'm on the fence.
I love the networking and I love all that stuff, but there's also there's a cyclical money thing which sort of freaks me out.
Yeah, it's not quite right.
There's something there. It's like
Yeah.
the government's like, here's money. We can give you money to go to this, and then we'll give them money, and then it's just like this weird thing happening.
Yeah, well, the term circle jerk comes to mind. I know it's inappropriate, but it definitely like metaphorically works.
It's a strange underside of it, but the beauty is, once you get past all that and you've either paid or found funding to go to these things, which most musicians do, it's the meeting people like Maria.
Totally.
I met her at one of my first conferences and we became friends, and I'm still in touch with her. It's those people, those worldwide connections that you make that are really, really important to building careers. Like you say, you've had a great time with them.
Yeah. I mean, we met at a conference, so I can't complain. The amount of people I've met at even to just associate the word conference with the music industry is weird.
It is.
That's just like already feels ironic to me.
Yeah.
and so like I'm going to a conference and I explain it to my partner, my beautiful loving partner, and she is like, a conference? This doesn't sound real. When I started doing them 10 years ago or whatever. And then explaining what they actually are and how you actually feel when you play them, and like a lot of these things are in hotel rooms and they're ugly and they sound bad, and it's like, this isn't doing us any favors, Anyway,
you never know though. Like I did when I did my first conference. I can't remember which one it was, but I mean I had like a 2:30 a.m. hotel room showcase. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm at 2:15. I'm in the outside the room, and there's somebody else playing, and then they finish, and the 10 people in the room leave, and I walk into an empty room, and I start my first song, and one person walks in, then another two walk in, and then by sort of 15 minutes into my 20-minute set, there's 6 people in the room, and this other guy walks in making a 7th, and he sits in the back, and I'm just up there. I'm like, this is ridiculous. What am I doing here? This is so stupid.
Yeah.
My first conference too. I'm coming from like a world of rock and roll where it's just like it's a different thing, and all of a sudden I'm like, what am I doing? This is ridiculous. And I played 5 or 6 songs, and after this guy came up and shook my hand, and he was the booker for Merlefest, and he booked me on Merlefest that year. And I'm like, how the hell did I get booking on Merlefest from a 2:30
Was that Steve Johnson?
That was Steve.
Yeah. That's a great festival.
Yeah, it's great, but like you never know what you're going to get out of these things, which is the key, right?
Totally.
You never know what you're going to get out of it.
That's a wicked story. Yeah.
So I do recommend them. I so funny. It's so funny. There's the beginning of the camera shake. Luckily it only lasts for about another 4 minutes before I correct it, and Del speaks through most of it, so you don't need me in the frame anyways, which is kind of cool. We got Tony. Who's away here? Richard and Tony. Good Lord. Ian Davis. How you doing there, buddy? Yes, we live stream everywhere we can, boy. Is that a Sertano bender? Yeah, it is. It is. I'm still getting used to it. Before I start bending with it, I want to learn how to replay guitar with it, because they take up a lot of real estate on the area where, you know, you do all your palm muting and stuff from. So I'm seeing if I can learn how to play first before I get addicted to the actual motions, because I don't want to get addicted to it and not be able to play. That's where I am with it, but I love them. They're great. I think it's a really cool tool. Okay, yeah, so there we go. So we just had the first interview with Del, who we have another part of it coming up. Before that, though, we're going to send this song out to the cruise folks, Tony and Richard. Anybody else who's on vacation and tuning in, it's really nice when people tune in when they're on vacation. And I hear you guys were in Jamaica yesterday, guys and gals, sorry, folks of all kinds. I hear you were in Jamaica. Jamaica. What accent did I just pull out there? I just turned the J into a Y. Jamaican, yeah, right. Green Newfoundlander.
Big jet plane.
Yeah. My daughters have a friend named Yulia, though, and that caused quite a disturbance one night here at the house. She was born in January.
I have a friend, well, actually a fellow that I work with who's Chinese, and his wife is Chinese, but she grew up in Lima, Peru. And it's really quite interesting to hear her talk, because she'll say things like, oh, well, you know, maybe I'll go there and you nor you lie. You know,
Oh, yeah. You kind of got that accent down a little bit. Oh, your wife was Asian, right? You were married to a... I know she actually, but your wife is Asian. That was some really bad English for you.
Wife number 2.
This is FMNL and the Pain-Free Living, ladies and gentlemen, and it goes just like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoneder, I like to get more stoned than I was before. 'Cause I don't have a moment of pain-free living, and at times I can take it for a while. Then sometimes it takes away the part of me that's real. Then other times all I can do is smile. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoneder, I like to get more stoned than I was before. 'Cause I don't have the perfect job I dreamed of, and at times I can take it for a while. Then sometimes I take away the small things I take for granted, and other times all I can do is hide. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoneder, I like to get more stoned than I was before. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoneder, I like to get more stoned than I was before. To be honest, it's an uphill battle with depression, and the drugs the doctor gives me ain't so tight.
is sometimes I feel like my skin is crawling, and other times bad TV can be alright. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoneder, I like to get more stoned than I was before. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoneder, I like to get more stoned than I was before. Yeah. Oh my, a little pain-free living for y'all. We're going to try that new tune again. Keep in mind, folks, this is the part of the show, any of the new folks tuning in for Barber, thank you very much. It's nice to see people dropping in. Part of what we do on the Whiskey Wednesday show is work on new music, so you get to see it grow from the birth through to the recording and all that other stuff. And tonight we're going to try one which is a new one. This one is called Bar Stools and Broken Hearts. We played it last week for the first time, I believe. Is that right?
That might be right, yeah. I mean, aside from
Practicing
recording it way back when.
Well, exactly, yeah. This will be another of the DAG sessions. We have a third single and video coming out in September. Keep an eye out for that. Check out $1 a Day and what's the other one we did? $1 a Day and Drunk, Stoned, and Broke. Wow, both money-related songs. Okay, this one's not money-related. You can figure out what this one's about for yourself. There's a song called Bar Stools and Broken Hearts. It goes just like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Broke mind and broken body, coming home to find the life I loved before the war turned cold and broke down over time. Broke family and broken love, tangled stories made up of the time you were away. Broken soldier's heart replays. Stop pretending there's a war outside. Don't pretend to be a truth from days gone by. It's just bar stools and broken hearts. Another night to fall apart. Puzzle pieces in your head. Another stranger in your bed. It's just bar stools and broken hearts. Another day, another start. To face the truth and climb that hill. Another prayer unwinds. Alone with the truth is the hardest time to kill. Broken jobs and broken dreams, a little too old it seems. The life you thought you'd have lives only now as an illusion. Now it seems broken wallet and broken heart to put you in your place. The whiskey, drugs, and cigarettes are filling up that empty space. Stop pretending it's just the way things go. Don't pretend to be the truth that we all know. It's just bar stools and broken hearts. Another night to fall apart. Puzzle pieces in your head. Another stranger in your bed. It's just bar stools and broken hearts. Another day, another start. To face the truth and climb that hill. Another prayer unwinds. Alone with the truth is the hardest time to kill. Broke
promises, broken truth. The radio plays songs from a youth of bands that we both love. Twisting words we spang like morning brubs. Broken world and broken people trying to get ahead. The sympathy that we all need for all intents gets left for dead. Stop pretending there's a war outside. Don't pretend to be the truth from days gone by. It's just bar stools and broken hearts. Another night to fall apart. Puzzle pieces in your head. Another stranger in your bed. It's just bar stools and broken hearts. Another day, another start to climb the truth and take that hill. Another prayer unwinds. Alone with the truth is the hardest time to kill. Nice one, David.
Dave is new to this one, as we all are. Oh, well, we played it. We knew it a year ago, but Dave's new to it. And said, "Well, what's that ending? We got to get that ending." And we keep that's close. We're getting closer all the time. You had your big conference thing last week, David.
Yeah.
That's all done now. How does that feel?
A huge load off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's time to start fishing now for the summer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Fishing and playing music and still obviously the work thing, but
Of course.
yeah. More and more focus on the self-care thing.
There you go. Well, Campbellford's big on self-care.
Absolutely.
And you found some music to play, and you got a place to live, and you found Eric. By the way, Eric Spirit Leaf, thank you again. Eric sent over some caramel tonight. The caramel is the small batch, I guess they make. It's just like a small batch whiskey company, but it's weed. So they sent over the Animal Face tonight. Animal Face. Saying it sort of has a bath salts vibe to it, but I did smoke some, and I'm not interested in eating anybody's face at this point in time.
I think we're safe.
We'll see after I smoke a little more. We'll see what happens. But we're going to get into part 2 of Del Barber right now, ladies and gentlemen. Again, just check Del out. Enjoy yourself. Roll a joint. We'll see you in a few minutes. We'll play some more tunes, and we'll say goodnight. But here's some Del Barber for y'all. Cheers.
Doing okay?
You?
Perfectly. Finally, taste the spring, warm winds and 100 cups of coffee. It's days like these that remind me why we fell in love. And she says, darling, I disagree. Our love is a 4-wheel drive Chevrolet. We didn't fall, we climbed up and drove away. So many people crying about their fate. So many of them won't do a goddamn thing. So me and you, Maria, me and you, Maria, me and you, Maria. It was last year in the winter. You were always looking at your shoes. Even the clerk at the grocery store could see that you were carrying around an unholy book of bad news. She said, don't know how to feel about anything. Don't know why I should care. Feels like a sad grand irony that everyone's convinced they can get us from here to there. There's a raven flying low with roughed up feathers. Reminds me of your favorite lines from our old love letters and the things you can't let go, and dreams that don't grow old. Like me and you, Maria.
the conference aspect of music, but that's become the musician's burden now. It's no longer just like, oh, be a musician, write your music, do your art. It's now write your music, do your art, do your own press, do your own videos, do your own recording, do your own engineering, learn how to master, make your own videos. Like all this stuff that we do as musicians now, it has become the burden of the musician to actually run your own business.
And then figure out how to get gigs, and then you talk to your local music boards that are run by boards of directors and nonprofits, and it's like you're getting into this, you're like stepping into a bureaucratic world that you didn't expect, and those bureaucracies are there's some beautiful things happening with them, but they're bureaucracies.
Yep.
And they look for specific things all the time, and those things are changing, and it's really hard to like reconcile making art and being a part of that. There's definitely some tension there for me, and I'm not in a position, and no one really is, where you get to pretend to opt out of all that infrastructure, and it is weird, and there's some really good benefits to like state-sponsored music. But there are parts of it that as Canadians we need to start like questioning and sort of improving, and not expecting that's going to be a given forever, and trying to develop these economies that are sort of more up our speed and up our alley. I'm trying to find the right metaphor, but you know what I mean. Like a lot of it worries me, and I'm a person who benefits from all of it, and I have for my entire career, and I worry that I sort of have a dependency on those things, and that's something that really bugs me, man. I don't want to be dependent on all those boards, but that's just the reality of Canadian music. But it doesn't happen in the States. There's tons of songwriters like me who make it work, who just have figured out how to do it. And I don't know, sometimes I worry about our dependence on all this infrastructure that we've created, and I don't know, it's good. There's lots more jobs in the sort of in the arts because of it, like all those people that work for all those conferences. And
but it's a lot of it's hard to not get sucked down the rabbit hole of sort of some of the like you say, the problems with that sort of bureaucratic organization. But it's, I tell you, for any musician out there who's curious sort of what it's like, do one factor application.
Yeah.
Pick a simple application, and don't do it without sort of trying to do it. And if you successfully complete an application for factor, you've essentially done a course in marketing.
Yeah.
Because all the information you need to put into that, like the first time you look at it, you're going to be like, well, what is that? And you need to research it. And before you know it, you're actually putting together marketing plans, budgets, touring plans. It's all this amazing stuff that you need to know.
You need to have a plan. You're going to make a record and put it out. You need to have a plan for what happens after.
Exactly.
And you don't need to worry about that maybe when you're making it. Like if you have the luxury of time.
Yep.
You don't need to put the cart before the horse. So many of us do that. We think about marketing before we actually have a product that's good.
Well,
something we love,
and
we want people to hear. It's a lot easier to market something you're sure about.
Well, and that's just it. There's been many times where like I finish a record and like, oh, this is great. Okay, I'm going to go looking for funding now. And then it's like, well, if you wanted to get funding after the record's done, you're waiting for at least a year, probably a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how many musicians out there have finished a record and then said, oh, I think I'll wait a year and a half to put this out. No, we want it out today, right? Yeah. So, if you want to really get into these things, and I find a lot of the artistry puts the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
And
that's the basic framework.
Premise.
Yeah.
And I've had artists, reach out to me. They're like, I got this big, I'm not going to say which grant, but I got a big grant and I need to come do some shows in Ontario and I can't get any gigs.
Yeah.
Can I come open for you and I'll give you like $5,000 that I need to spend out of my budget? I've got to do 4 Ontario dates. I'm like, that sounds weird.
It's weird.
But it's like, again, they put that marketing together years before. the record was made, and part of the marketing was they had to come to Ontario to do a certain amount of shows. And then the record came out and didn't really do anything, and then they couldn't get a gig, but they still needed to fulfill the budgeting and all that. So
it's not uncommon. This is not like an aberration in the scene.
Exactly. So it's an interesting place, and you can use it, and you can abuse it, and you can also get addicted to it, like you said.
Yeah,
or get too reliant.
And also, it can really be the game changer for people's careers to have sustainability. I'm not trying to just sit here slogging on it, because I don't think that's at all the case, but we do need to sort of ask some sober questions about how we're supposed to use these things well, and what it's supposed to amount to, and how much, there's bigger conversations we're not really getting at, is with the direct factor funding for labels and the new system that's just been in place and all this stuff. I'm just curious about how it's evolving. In terms of what the record label is now in Canada, and worldwide even, and distribution, and when I started, I got a distribution. I was signed with 6 Shooter Records, and it was distributed by Warner Music, and it was the tail end of, I don't think maybe I got records in HMV, but it was just when that was disappeared, and all my friends who had distribution deals, their records were all over Canada. I would go and see folk artists, and I would listen to their records on the headphones at HMV.
Right.
And I got my first indie deal. It was just that was over. But I never knew it as a thing for me and my income. But I watched them go through this thing where all of a sudden they started selling 80% less CDs across the country. And it was just immediate income bracket change.
Huge.
From next to nothing to nothing, right?
Yep.
And they were already struggling, and I'm coming up, and I'm I just sell CDs from stage. That's the only place I know. That's the only thing I know. And I burnt them, and my first bunch of tours were U.S. college towns, and I just burned CDs and sold them to people at frat parties. It's just what I did, and and so all these people coming up, they just have a different idea of what the industry is and what it looks like, and streaming, and those are things that I'm just I'm almost 40 and I feel out of touch with it.
Yep.
And it's freaking me out,
It's a brand new world out there. I think I mentioned last night when we were chatting about some stuff, it was somebody I was talking to recently, and I said, I got some new music. I'd love you to hear one of the tracks. And they said, well, what are your numbers? I said, what numbers? I kind of knew what they were talking about. They said, well, what are your Spotify, Instagram numbers? I said, well, do you want to hear the song?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I want to know your numbers. And I immediately lost interest in furthering any conversation with this person. It is a different world for the business out there. Some of us older, somebody called me a legacy artist.
Oh man, that must have hurt.
Wow, that's a tough one. But it's kind of true. The Watchmen have been around for 30 years, and I've been a part of it for over 25. And I'm 54 now. So I am sort of becoming a legacy artist, I guess, or am a legacy artist. But I'm really out of touch with everything, And I think that's what, if I tried to stay in touch and tried to stay in the business, I think it would probably be really painful and very much against everything I believe in.
Well, that's the thing, and everybody, words like sincerity and authenticity are just they're so important to people now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's always been the essential piece of music. It's when we believe you, it's good.
Yeah.
You have to be honest when you go and write a song, sing a song, play bass, whatever.
Yep.
And I think that's the same thing people have always wanted.
What were we just talking about?
I don't know.
I can't remember either. Okay, let's talk about
Almanac. Sincerity. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Sincerity. Yeah. Well, Almanac.
Sure.
This is your new album?
It's my new record. Yeah, I don't even know when it came out, but it's just a couple months old, and just touring it and trying to force people to listen to my songs as usual. And it feels great. It's the first record I wrote without any previous song ideas. I always have this bank of song ideas, and I make all these notes.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just put out the record before Almanac was a B-sides record where I went through all my notes from the last decade and found those songs that I had sort of forgotten about, and I thought were worthy of my attention. And that was a record I made in the pandemic in a cabin with my buddies. It was just like songs that I needed to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I finished all these sort of threads and I had nothing. And I got to write a record like kind of all at once.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was just a really cool, that was like the first time in my career where I did that, because I always just had this like backlog of stuff I was working on. And so my records would have songs from, I was working on a couple years ago and then brand new ones. And they were always just like sort of, I always would go into the studio with like 30 or 40 songs and try to tell a story, try to get the songs that were about the same thing. We get into seasons of life and you start thinking about particular things you want to talk about if you're a songwriter generally. And so there's themes are really easy to find. But this one was just like a direct, everything was sort of linked. And I got to sort of just write the whole thing at once. And I really enjoyed it. And I guess that's what I'm going to have to do now forever, because
you have no more backlog.
Backlog's gone. I mean, I'm starting to try and create that thing where I just, every idea and every moment, I come up with something, just write the thesis of that idea down at least, so I can go back and attend to it. And hope that I can create another backlog, because I really loved going through that and wondering about those things again, and also throwing out ideas that suck. There's like the greatest freedom as a writer for me is realizing when something isn't good enough, spending enough time on it, and then saying like, glad I visited you for a while, but I don't believe this.
Yep.
Or this melody just doesn't do it for me, or whatever it is. There's no character, there's no picture I can paint.
It's amazing how much we throw out.
Gotta throw them out.
But you have to.
Like the idea of letting go of those ideas that seemed good at 2:00 in the morning or at 6:00 in the morning when I wake up, and I'm usually the most creative. It's just like being able to let go of that stuff without fear of consequences was so freeing for me, so I'm trying to create that backlog so I can have that.
Yeah,
freedom.
The backlog is, I've always relied on it. I've always have it. I mean, I would say I had a bit of a writing block when Allison got sick, and I didn't write a full song for a couple of years because it was all just bits and pieces, and so much of it was around health and well-being, and it just didn't seem like stuff I wanted to share.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I've got like a massive pile of stuff now, like verses and choruses and lyrics and just like piles of notes.
That's what I want back,
stuff.
because that's
I do love that, because I find that you can go back through that every now and again and pull out some real gold that you might have missed.
Absolutely, it's really easy when you're a songwriter and you're active, like you're kind of doing it all the time, and everything is you're training your eyes and ears to look for the songs, and just anybody could do it. You start writing songs, you start seeing the world through that lens. And for me, it's just like not forgetting to take a minute and write it down, or put even just voice notes.
Because if you don't, it's gone. I mean,
it's gone.
We know
you
that.
Think you're gonna remember.
I'll remember this. It's too good to forget.
Even just a little guitar hook. You pick up a guitar and you play a hook. It's all someone needs to just have that moment to be like, this is about this. Okay. Yeah. Boom. And then once you get once I get the idea of the song, like who it's actually about or what I'm trying to say, then it's fine. Then I can finish it.
Right.
Do you have trouble finishing?
Here we go. The question coming out of his lips was, do you have trouble getting finished writing songs? Which sends us on a very broad topic of how to know when a song is done. It gets really, really interesting. The rest of the interview has both of us in frame for the whole thing. And I think I got all the audio sorted too, and I don't think there's any more glitches there. But sorry, one of the more technically challenged ones for.
And tune in next week to see it.
Tune in next week to see part 2. Part 2 of the technical disaster. No, actually, part 2 is great. Part 1 was awesome. Neil.
Yeah.
It was Christmas time.
It was. It was Christmas time on Friday. Yes,
it was.
Merry
Christmas. It was Christmas on Friday. We had your Christmas gift from the family was to go drive a very fast car.
Yes, it was.
On a very small, tight racetrack.
It was that.
Not allowing you to get the car anywhere near as fast as you would possibly want, but at the same time, scaring the bejesus out of you.
Pretty much.
To use a Baptist term.
Yes, indeed. That's right. Yes, indeed.
Bejesus. No, Jeebus. Right. Sorry, I got that all wrong. No. Either way.
No, be Jesus is right, but you should separate it 2 words,
Oh, I see. Okay, be Jesus.
Like be like Jesus. Kind of like be like Steve.
Gotcha. I understand that. You just got to put it into my wheelhouse.
Yeah, there you go.
we have a little slideshow, which I have some commentary to go along with. This is fun. This is the day. Neil, do you want to round us out there and introduce the family and a little bit about who you
Sure,
got
absolutely. The hairy thing on my right is Ken Tizzard, as you may know, and then on the other side of me are my grandchildren, Clara, who is 13, and Oliver, who turned 11 last Saturday. So he actually got a birthday present on Friday. He got to ride in a McLaren 720S while they ripped around the track.
That's right.
And that was my daughter Jillian behind.
That was Jillian, yes. No, that's okay. This is the place we went, and that's the track you rode, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So they call it the driver development track, and it's about 3 kilometers. It is full of turns, as you can see, and the opportunities to really get any speed out of a car on that are limited because the straightaways are short.
And the cars that you're driving go from like 0 to 60 in like 1.9 seconds or
The
something.
one that I chose, this is Oliver and Justin.
This is Oliver
in
and
front of
Justin,
the
yes.
McLaren 720S that they went out in. I chose a Lamborghini Super Trofeo, which was probably really stupid of me because it was pure absolute race car, not street legal. 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. I couldn't even get the damn helmet on, but
well, you couldn't, and it's funny because the guy was sort of looking like, does he need help? And then the next photo is like, yeah, it looks like he needs help. And then it's, oh, okay, here you go. And it reminds me of, I used to go skating with Allison's class. And I used to have to fasten all the helmets.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I know, that's me, the kindergarten kid.
And there's Neil all suited up, ready to go, looking like a rock star, of course. And there he is in the car.
Yes.
Look at this thing. And I think there's a shot of the steering wheel there, too. It was pretty... did you recognize anything on the steering wheel there?
I saw one button that said neutral. That I understood. Everything else was totally beyond my comprehension.
Right. And that's what it looked like from the outside. And they let you take these things and drive them really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a guy who drives with you, and he gives you a bunch of hand signals on when to turn
That's right,
when to speed up, when to
there's
brake.
so much engine noise that you really, really can't hear somebody talk, kind of thing. So yeah, 4 simple hand signals, and we were off like a turd of hurdles.
Yeah. Did you get feel? See, we went around before in the Van Borghini. When we got there, the gentleman who took Oliver, he said he was driving the van, and the van gave like a drive around the course. So while people were doing laps, this van would go out and it would show you where all the turns are and stuff. He happens to be a Canadian gold medalist, and he was on Team Canada.
I don't know what series of cars he races, but he is.
But he races.
He's a driver, yeah.
So he took us out, and he slammed us around the course. I mean, this 15 passenger van was like was what do they call that thing where the car kind of goes drifting?
Yeah.
And then he would slam on the brakes, and we'd all be forward, and then he'd hit the gas, and we'd all be backwards, and it was wild. And I thought, I'm glad I'm not going in a race car. This van is enough for me.
Yeah, he was pretty crazy.
He was pretty crazy. And then you got into one of those cars.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
It was a little bit nuts. I got in there. By the time I got out of that car, I was shaking. I did 4 laps, so 12 kilometers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's got to be the most intense 15 minutes or whatever that I ever spent in my life. And like it was just accelerate, brake, outside of the corner, inside of the corner, up to the apex, accelerate, brake. Like just, it was like that and it was something else. And with one trip around the track, you didn't really get to the point where it was in your head kind of thing. So,
well, there's probably, I can't remember from the trip, but there has to be at least 30 turns on the track.
There's a lot. I don't think there's that many, but there's a
I think there's 30.
and well, of course you do. But anyway, it was fun. I will be quite happy to go and do it again. Oliver announced when he got out of the car that it would be okay if I got him that as a Christmas present or a birthday present next year. So he quite enjoyed himself as well. So yeah, it was a wonderful time. Just a great time. Everybody at GTA Exotics.
Yeah, they were great. They were really good there.
Just super great, really well organized. We were out of there in no time at all. Like theoretically, I was supposed to be driving at 10:30. I think
we were
and
all...
Oliver at 11:45. Oliver was in the car and out in the track by 9:30, and I was out shortly behind him. So
Yeah, they just kind of book everybody, and like your time is your time, but if there's available cars and they have a huge fleet, we'll just grab a car and go. And it's just like, oh, cool. So it is really expedient. See that word? Got that? I used it right, didn't I?
Hey.
Oh, shit. Oh, I made it fun, though, because speed is in it.
The
Expedient.
speedy
I
part
think
there.
I got the expedient in,
yeah,
see?
expeditious might be closer. But
Oh, see, but that doesn't have the word speed in it.
I know it doesn't. But
Ah, you and your
nevertheless,
English
nevertheless,
words and letters.
it was a great time. Thank you, Ken and Allison and girls, for a fantastic present.
It was great. And to help us pay for that, Barry, do you have a video? Do we have a video queued up there that we could show? Maybe I'll post a link, and we'll call this this month or this week's Neil Goes Driving.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in to the Whiskey Wednesday show. Every Wednesday we will be here, rain or shine, richer or poorer. Tip jar is in the link above. Never expected but always appreciated. Never confuse the size of your paycheck with the size of your talent. I've got all the money I'll ever need if I die by midnight. Always appreciated, never expected. Please feel free to drop us a line regarding anything, including a link to your money. Cheers.
Okay, so we got one more song to play for you here, folks, and we're gonna end it out. We're having some confusion about the goat. Do we have the big wide shot of the room there, Barry?
Don't show it.
Really?
It's too high.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this, and I want people to guess when they think the goat is where I'm pointing. So I'm doing this now. Tell me if you think I'm warm. Where am I pointing? Where? Just tell me when to stop. On the message board, leave a message. I don't hear any dinging. Oh, you guys are like a minute
God,
behind.
I'm in the room and I can't see it.
I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, thanks, Lucas, for I got some beer here. Back on the Longtooth Lager in the Longtooth Beverage Co. glasses, which is awesome. Thanks for brewing more lager and getting it to us in these hot summer days. Have I missed anything now, Barry? Where am I with everything? I think like the two things we got left are coming up, right?
Yeah. Did you mention Ben Kaplan?
I didn't, because I talked a lot about West Bend, and I meant to mention it. And every time I was talking about it, I thought I'll mention Ben next time. This weekend coming, West Bend is hosting Ben Kaplan as a campfire artist, and if the weather is great, they have a huge campfire. Ben, stay back from the fire because of the beard. Ben I got my beard trimmed today because I have to go to a Watchmen show, and Sammy always gets on my case if my beard's too long, because when we're snuggling after the show, he gets his fingers stuck in it. Anyways,
That's only because I'm not going to be there.
I know you're not going to be there for this. Is like the first time in 5 years I'm traveling without Neil.
I think you need to go full Lee Sklar on.
Fully Lynn
His
Scar.
beard, like
I know
this.
Lee's got it going on. I will
Snowy
eventually,
white.
but
He's been working on it for years.
It
He's
gets
had it
tangled up
going.
in the strings. That's the only problem.
there's a song called "Drunk, Stone, and Broke," ladies and gentlemen. It goes just like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Drunk, stoned, and broke, and I don't know if I'll see the sun tomorrow. And if I come down from this place, I hope that I might never see your face again. Push back another round to drown away my sorrow. I'll hate myself tomorrow. Good God, I need it tonight. God, I need it tonight. Have another toke and slip quietly to understand nothing. Your words like poison smoke, and I'd rather see you floating in the air. Push back another round and drown away my sorrow. I'll hate myself tomorrow. But good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it tonight.
sun tomorrow. And if I come down from this place, I hope that I might never see your face again. Push back another round and drown away my sorrow. You know I'll hate myself tomorrow. Good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it.
There you go. A little drunk, stoned, and broke down the night out, ladies and gentlemen. Barry, once again, thank you for coming across the street, brother. Your yard's looking fantastic. I didn't mow the front of mine yet. I apologize. I know it doesn't look that great. I mowed the back today, so like I know it's good out there and out front. I think I'm just deterring people from coming around me, you know.
Yeah,
Your place is looking spanking. Yeah, it's fantastic.
so she won't let me get away with it.
No, okay, well, then that's good. Neil, thank you again, and
My pleasure.
yeah,
as
we'll
always.
see you before too long. Like, we're gonna have some food now. What do we have tonight for food? I can't remember. Allison's got something prepared for us. Mr. Grant, thank you for coming over, and David as well. Anything happening this weekend that we need to address aside from Ben Kaplan at West Bend?
Well,
think
you're
she-
going out of town, right?
I'm going out to Edmonton, yeah, so I'm not around.
I'm playing Capers with the Janet Jeffrey Band on Saturday night.
Oh,
so
cool.
All right.
Anyone
that'll
who's
be
in
great.
town, come on out.
You guys doing like 7 to 9 or 6 to 7 to 10 or 6 to 9?
7 to 10, I think.
7 to 10. Okay, perfect. Great show. That's a great thing to do this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, check out Janet Jeffrey Band. Cool. Okay, well, you're gone. Where are you going? Why aren't you traveling
I'm
with me?
here.
Why aren't you
I'm
traveling with me,
here,
though?
but on Sunday night, I have to go into the office in Toronto because I have an ISO audit on Monday and Tuesday,
Oh.
which is just bag loads
Is it
of
like a
fun.
rubber
I mean,
glove
I'm-
thing?
Sorry?
A rubber glove thing?
A rubber glove thing?
Yeah.
No, that would involve proctology in all probability.
Oh, I thought you
And,
said an ISO Procto something.
No, I said an ISO audit.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
heard something different.
Okay, it's too much rock music and too much hair over your ears, I think. But anyway, there we go.
Well, best of luck
Yeah.
with your exam.
Thank you.
And I hope
Yeah.
Spoken like a
everything goes well.
Baptist.
Sorry, what was that? Huh?
Spoken like a Baptist.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. And I know it's the summer. It's so hard to tune in on a Wednesday night when it's still so beautiful in the yard. But thanks for spending some time with us. And for those of you watching it during the week, thank you for tuning in and sharing the videos as they come out and stuff. Next week, we're going to have the other part of Dell, two other songs from him. It's just it was such a treat to have him in town, seeing him perform at West Bend for the hometown crowd here. And then having him come by the house, just incredible now to be able to share it with you all. So thanks to West Bend and thanks to Dell and everybody else. Be nice, be kind, don't fight over corn. It's coming in and it's going really fast. So just, sort of take it
Corn
when it's
Wars,
there.
novel idea.
Corn Wars, exactly.
There will be lots, I predict.
There will be
There's gonna
lots
a
soon.
lot of corn.
I know, there will
Yeah.
be lots soon. But in the meantime, be careful.
You mean
with-
besides on this show?
There'll be corn everywhere.
There'll be corn everywhere. And we'll see you next week. Remember to take care and be like Steve. Cheers. Once again, thanks for spending another Wednesday with us here at Storyhouse Studios. Thanks to Trainer, Yorkville, and a Longtooth Beverage Company for being a part of the show. We love our time on the Whiskey Wednesday show and appreciate all of your support. Don't forget to hit up the tip jar if you feel so inclined. Never expected, but always appreciated. Tune in every week for more guests, songs, stories, drinks, and gear talk. And don't forget to visit the website, www.kentizzard.com, to sign up for the Whiskey Wednesday wrap-up. Compiled by Allison, this is a monthly overview with highlights, directories of songs, and so much more. Be kind, be helpful, be happy, be safe. See you next week.
The seal on a Jim Beam cannon.